Hello and welcome to the Stephanie Herman Show. Are you a closet dancer and afraid to come out and dance? Do you find yourself tapping your feet to music but yet don't want to get up and dance? Do you want to take that dance exercise fitness class but you find that the dance steps are too intimidating? Well, good news. Everybody can dance. I have taken 4 dancers and 2 non-dancers, and I've put them together for a choreography workshop. And they will be showing you and talking to you about their fears and how they've conquered them. But to inspire you today, we have KGO's radio talk show host, Joanie Greggains, who is the dance fitness guru, and she is a legend of all times. And Joanie.
Thank you so much. I love that intro.
I am so happy to have you here. Thank
Thanks.
you so much for coming. And I want to know, and our viewers want to know, how did you become a radio talk show host?
Well, Stephanie, I have to go way back.
Not that way back.
Well, sort of way back. When I was 3, is that way back?
That's way back.
All right, but I'll go fast.
Okay.
I used to like to just dance around and make a lot of noise. And my mother said, we must get her out of the house. So they sent me to tap dance school. Archie Prince, the fabulous Archie Prince.
Where was that?
In San Francisco. And he had a little tap dance school, and I tap danced, and I loved it. And then I decided I would go into acrobatics and all that. And so in school, I was always good in sports, and I decided, what a great thing to be a PE teacher. So I became a PE teacher in San Francisco. And when I was teaching phys ed, which I loved, I would also, in the evening time, sometimes talk to corporations and people that were out of shape. And one time when I was speaking, there was a gentleman there that was with KGO many years ago. And to make a long story short, he said, how would you like to do a little thing on a show we have AM San Francisco? So I did.
Well, were you lucky?
And let me tell you how I did this. He said, but you got to make it sort of interesting. And I said, okay. So I rented a Wonder Woman costume.
No way.
I did. I did. With the sandals and stuff and the bracelets. Now, KGO used to be on Golden Gate Avenue. And the thing was, when you'd walk down there, there'd be all the guys the night before. They had the bottles and stuff. So I come down with the lace-up sandals and the things with the bracelets. And the guys went, oh, it's Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman. And one guy said, wow, it really is. And Wonder Woman, well, you make me strong. And I went, zzz, like this. So then
Did you have a W?
I had everything. I had the outfit on with a little coat. So then I did that, and so what I would do is how does Wonder Woman stay fit and all of that. From there, I went to KPIX and did the same sort of thing. I took a leave from teaching, all right, and then I got my own television show called Morning Stretch, which ran for many, many years, all through the U.S. And then, as I was doing that, I was offered my radio show to sort of do the same thing, to talk about health and fitness, and that's what I've done all the time, and I love it. The main thing I think is so important is we know how much we like to exercise. It makes us feel good. To make it fun, though, it also should be, exercise is fun. It's fun to move. Music can inspire you. So again, it's just a question of finding something that can inspire you to move.
Well, why do you think some people don't like to dance?
I think we're born to dance. At least we're born, all right, to move. And we were talking about it. The fact that
babies
right. Move. You look at children, you put on music and they just
so
dance
natural.
around. Something happens. Sometimes all of a sudden you become maybe self-conscious. Maybe somebody says something or you look funny doing that. Something happens where all of a sudden...
At the age of 7, I think you start being more self-conscious and aware of what people think about you.
And maybe you weren't, and then someone said, you know what?
You look funny.
That's right, and you go...
Scarred for life.
Scarred, that's it, that's it. That happened to me when I was playing piano in the 4th grade at sort of a little recital.
And that was the end of your piano career.
Well, it was.
You
because
would have been a concert pianist.
I would have.
Oh.
That's true.
But you're this great dance fitness guru, and we're so happy that you have done your videos. How many videos do you have?
I have about 20.
All right.
20, yes. I have 20 videos. I even have some audio stuff. And now, of course, we have our DVDs, right? But again, the whole thing, the thing that I love about you is you, of course, have always danced, and but you make movements simple, too, so that people can do it. And I think it's so important, so that if you ever were insulted, as a child, you don't have to worry about it. Try again. As you said, get in your closet and dance, or just dance alone in your living room. Enjoy the music.
Well, what I find is sometimes people dance by using the left side of their brain, and the left side of the brain is the judgmental side. And so I simplify things by using the right side of the brain, which are the simplistic things like stir the soup, turn the light off, shoot the pool, and then, yeah, I can do that, or opposed to glissade, grand jeté, fouetté into fourth position plie. You go, left brain, left brain. So I try to simplify it by focusing dancing from your right brain.
Exactly right.
And with your new video, the Doo-wop dance video with the Etzels, tell us about that.
This is so much fun because, again, how do you motivate people to dance or to move? And music can inspire you. You know, music can set a tone. And I started watching some of those fundraisers on some of the public TV shows, and they always play the old doo-wop songs. And you go, wow, that music sounds so fun. Ram-a-lam-a-ding-dong and Rockin' Robin. And I started thinking, maybe what I could do is teach some simple dances to doo-wop.
Which I saw. It looks very simple, easy to do.
So simple.
Anybody can do it. Anybody.
And I thought, what fun.
You closet dancers, wherever you are.
That's right. They can do it.
They can do it.
They can do it.
Right.
So I thought, wait a minute. Wonder if I could get a group. And, you know, one of the wonderful groups that all dress alike and spin around and all that. So I had a friend who knew the Etzels. And he asked them, and they said, sure. So they recorded all this music. And they sing behind as I'm doing this and spin around, and they're so amazing, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, I've
so
seen it.
you
It's
want
really
to
great.
move. You want to move. You're inspired to move.
And of course, you're inspiring.
Well, I hope so.
You look great. You do. You look fabulous. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that everybody can dance?
I absolutely do.
Do you think people that are injured could dance?
Yes, I do. I know they do, because I've been involved in some physical therapy where we've used music. I've also, you know, taught exercise, whole chair exercise series, which is, you can get, it's so much fun, and you can get a great workout. Anyone can, and I really believe music touches you. You hear the rhythm, you know, all of a sudden, if you just let go, you can move. So yes, no excuse, anybody can dance.
Well, they have now, which I'm also involved with, is dancing for Parkinson's, and using the mind and the body to mind your body. And I think that people who are injured, they go to the doctors, and the doctors say, okay, don't move for 6 weeks. And you have a swollen ankle, or, you know, a knee that you just tore a ligament or something. But what happens to the upper part of your body?
That's right.
You know, you can still dance and move everything else, and you can work out in different ways. It's just not, it's not black and white. It's gray out there.
And the other thing, too, is moving your upper body and sort of moving around like this. You already feel better. I really believe, I mean, let's face it, you know, times can be tough. It elevates the mood. You feel better after you move.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. And what does it do to the brain?
Stimulates the brain.
Stimulates the
it
brain.
stimulates our brain here.
And makes you look great afterwards, too.
It does, but you feel good. I mean, it's amazing. And again, just moving. Just right now, if you're in your closet, get out and move.
So how would you tell our viewers to dance or get involved with dancing if they are that closet dancer, if they're intimidated by dancing? Do you have any?
Well, I would say, first of all, if you don't want to go anywhere, don't come out of the closet, of course, but get in your living room and just dance around. Just dance
or pick
around.
A piece of music that you really love.
Everybody has some song, some piece of music that inspires them. Put that on, because, you know, again, no one's going to see you. Just dance around to that. Start moving that way. I mean, I just think that music inspires you, and that's a good idea, too. Now that you thought of it, I'll take credit. But to find a piece of music you like, and then all of a sudden you want to dance around. I mean, and it starts you moving. And, of course, there's all kinds of, including my doo-wop workout, DVDs, but there's classes like you're talking about when you're teaching to the right side.
Right.
So that you, again, easy to follow. But the thing is, don't be afraid to dance. Don't spend your whole time on this planet and not at least move and dance.
Don't have a vision of what you should look like.
That's right.
And don't judge yourself from the mirror image. Judge yourself from how you feel and not how you look.
Exactly.
And just go slowly. Don't feel like, oh no, I got to do all that. Just kind of like, okay, let me start by breathing.
You know,
and let me start by feeling the music.
And then you'll be choreographing your own DVDs. You'll have your own workouts here.
Right.
Wait, I can do that.
And you'll be on our show.
That's right.
So, Joanie, you were in TV, you were in radio, you're a fitness person, and do you also feel as you age and as other people age, you get into injuries and you have to always modify the exercises to keep the dance within you, the dancer within you?
You know, I think, again, you have to be aware, you know, maybe you have an injury or had an injury or you're not as flexible. And yes, but the wonderful thing is when you're active and you keep active, okay, if you have an injury and you're recovering from, there's so many things you can do to modify a movement. So you modify this or that, you're still moving, it's still fine. It's like I have friends that used to be long distance runners, you know, and they finally decided, okay, now they're into race walking, but they enjoy it. It's not as hard on the joints. And they're fine. So yes, so you modify it a little bit. So what?
And
you're
you have
still
to
moving.
be comfortable with the transition
Yes.
in life and not
Yes.
feel stuck with, I used to be,
you know
I
what?
can't do.
And again, I never say I used to be and I can't do. You know, the thing is, so what? So now you're doing something that's a little bit different. It's modified. That's great. It's fabulous. And that whole thing of I used to be, no. Forget it. You know, the thing is, what are you doing now? And that's why we're talking about just get out of your closet and just dance around, have some fun.
Well, I hope everybody out there is going to be listening to you and that you'll be doing the Doo-wop dance
Absolutely,
video with
right
the
there.
Edsels, and I saw them. They were so cute.
Oh, they're the
with you.
best. They're
It was
amazing.
really great.
And their outfits and everything. And they've got the moves down. You know, they do all that choreography and stuff. So it's so much fun. And they have energy too.
Well, I hope to hear you. Will you tell us when we could hear you on KGO?
KGO,
Right,
8 to
in
10
San
on
Francisco,
Saturdays. Yes,
right.
8:10 on your AM dial. And I'm on 8 to 10 a.m. Ah, how perfect is that?
Sounds great. Well, I look forward to hearing you, and thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us.
Stephanie.
You've been great. It's wonderful having you. So now what I'd like to tell you about is our next segment. I have put together, as I said, 4 dancers and 2 non-dancers, and I brought them together for a 6-week choreography workshop. In that 6-week choreography workshop, I have broken down the steps into simplified moves. Now, if I was going to teach you the choreography from a dancer's point of view, I would say to you, tendu front, tendu back, rond de jambe into the 4th position, plie. If you're a non-dancer, you go, oh my gosh, don't know what to do with that. So I simplified it to say, you are going to be dancing with me. And then let the intent of what you want to say put into a movement of point your foot front, point your foot back, bring it around, and come right down. So these dancers and non-dancers were able to put everything together, and at the end of the workshop, they performed it for National Dance Week at the Alonzo Kings Line San Francisco Dance Center. Come with us and explore the dance world at the Alonzo Kings San Francisco Dance Center. Let's go.
Here we are in San Francisco, 7th and Mission, in a neighborhood of varied addictions. Come with me to the Odd Fellows building, 4th floor, to explore yet another addiction to life. The Alonzo Kings Line San Francisco Dance Center.
with Helen Selinati for the San Francisco Dance Center National Dance Week performance. And Helen has been part of the group of the choreography workshop, which was a 6-week workshop. And Helen also has taken my class with muscle ballet and Pilates body and rhythm for 2 years. And we'd love for you to share with the audience some background about where you're from and how you stumbled into my classes and then stumbled into the workshop.
Okay, well, where am I from? South Africa is where the accent's from. And I stumbled into your class after recovering from hip replacement surgery when I was getting a lot of fitness and stretching elsewhere, but I wasn't really reestablishing my balance. So a friend of mine suggested that I take the workshop and learn more about balance and about getting my core strengthened, which is what I got out of your other workshops. So as a progression from there, I thought I'd do the choreography workshop to learn more intricate steps and more ballet moves, which is what we got.
Was it a challenge?
It sure was. Stephanie, you said I'd get a lot out of it, and it would be good for me. It was good for me on many different levels. So it challenged me on not only the physical aspect, but also on memory, on putting things together, on the learning process, and then just being comfortable with myself.
What was your experience of this whole 6-week choreography workshop?
Well, it was a really good experience for me, especially because I'm really used to doing really fast-paced dancing, a lot of hip-hop, and a lot of salsa dancing. So this forced me to slow down a lot more and try to be really graceful.
What was the experience of the actual performance today?
It was really great. It's a really big adrenaline rush. I thought that I would be worried about my arms getting tired because it was hard in practice to keep the wings up, but during the performance, I didn't think about it at all.
You looked absolutely beautiful. And last night, were you nervous? And what was the whole process with the aspect of performing? Was there nerves?
Actually, no, not really. I was hanging out with my boyfriend, so I wasn't really thinking about the performance. I was just trying to relax.
Oh, good. And did you enjoy the performance as you were dancing?
Yes, I did.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Glenna, for being a part of this show. Been taking my muscle ballet class and Pilates body and rhythm class too. Sometimes yes. Mm-hmm. And she has, for the first time, joined the choreography workshop, which was really tremendous of you to do. Have you done dancing before?
No, not at all. It was a dream for a long time. So it just was very nice. It was a very nice experience, and finally to let this body go and try to dance it, feel like a dancer.
Feel like a dancer, and you look like a dancer too. It's amazing that you were able to do this choreography that usually people learn for 20 years to do different choreography from dance like this. I hope you feel proud of yourself.
I feel very good today. It just seems to have come together only at the very end. At first it just seems a process like I'll never get my body and my feet to do what my mind wants to do. But then in the end, it's just learn some tricks and the suggestions that you had, and then I kept them in mind, and it just seemed like, oh, that's how my foot should go. And then I let my body go, and it was just a fun kind of the zen, I guess, of enjoying that moment. And even having the people in front of me wasn't that scary because it was just enjoying that experience of knowing what the dance is going to be, watching the other people in the class. It just seemed like at the beginning we were all doing our own thing and having our own pace and rhythm and how we felt things and how we would interpret something. And in the end, it just seems that slowly we got to look at each other a little more. Instead of having soloists try to do something, it just seemed like we watched a little bit from each other and maybe learned and adjusted our pace and our movements. So to me, it felt more like a unified at the end.
Yes, integrated.
More integrated, yes.
Right. Did it help in the rehearsals when I had everybody watch one person do it at a time?
It was, because otherwise when you're doing and learning it, you just focus on yourself.
Right.
And that way, just to take the time and see, oh, that's how she's doing this. That's how long she's taking to do this. And maybe I learn a little bit. Or maybe I tell her why to me it looks strange. And we have that moment of giving feedback to each other, which was interesting. And it was fun. It made you focus on that moment and on that person instead of on yourself. And so you learn through it.
Did you feel like this performing process has helped you in your own life to apply some of the principles of the process of learning without understanding what you're doing first and going through the scary areas, and then you're able to trust? You just need to go through this process, and then all of a sudden you'll come out okay?
And it's, it's true, because in part of it there was, I really wanted to do this because of where I was in my life. And feeling quite stuck or afraid or not knowing where I could let go. And it felt like I could really trust the people around me, that it was safe, that I could do my best and I could enjoy the moment. And it was usually I have a hard time trying to wrestle myself into that moment. And then it became so much more natural not to have other worries, but to focus and enjoy it. And that's the true joy and enjoyment, is when you can be so present and so in this moment, and physically feel that relief, and physically feel that your back is solid but it's relaxed, and you don't have to walk stiff, and you don't have to be scared of the next step.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's really great. You got it. Congratulations. I'll pat you on the back.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
were an amazing teacher.
Well, thank
through
you so
this.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now you closet dancers, get out of that closet and start dancing. Listen to the music that you like and just get inspired. And thank you so much for joining us on the Stephanie Herman Show.